Welcome to our presentation on the art and science of rhetoric. Throughout history, rhetoric has been the cornerstone of effective communication, empowering speakers and writers to persuade, inform, and move audiences to action. It is the craft that weaves together our thoughts, emotions, and intentions into a tapestry that resonates with others. Rhetoric is not merely a tool for manipulation, it is a vital means of sharing ideas, fostering understanding, and prompting change. This presentation will guide you through the fundamental principles and practical applications of rhetoric, from its ancient origins to its vital role in today's digital communication landscape. We will delve into the works of Aristotle, Cicero, and Quintilian, examining how their ideas laid the foundations for what we consider rhetoric today. We will also consider how contemporary figures and movements adapt and apply these classical techniques in modern contexts, from social media campaigns to political speeches. As we explore this fascinating discipline, you'll gain insights into classical concepts that remain surprisingly relevant in our modern world. We will discuss the three modes of persuasion: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos refers to credibility and character. It speaks to the trustworthiness of the speaker or writer. Pathos appeals to emotion, drawing on the audience's feelings to create a connection. Logos, on the other hand, is grounded in logic and reason, providing the evidence and clarity that underpin persuasive arguments. Understanding these modes will empower you to analyze and construct arguments more effectively. Furthermore, we'll consider the importance of rhetorical situation, context, audience, purpose, and speaker, and how these elements interact to shape the way we communicate. Realizing that every act of communication occurs within a specific framework can help you tailor your messages, making them more impactful and relevant to those you wish to reach. As we move through the principles of rhetorical devices, such as metaphors, analogies, alliteration, and other figures of speech, you'll uncover how these tools can embellish your language, clarify your ideas, and capture the imagination of your audience. Rhetorical devices are not mere ornaments, they can enhance meaning and evoke emotional responses. Learning to wield them skillfully can elevate your communication from the mundane to the memorable. In light of the digital age we now inhabit, we will also examine how rhetoric adapts to new mediums, including social media platforms, blogs, and video content. The ways we engage with each other online challenge us to rethink traditional rhetoric and encourages innovation in communication styles. Understanding the nuances of digital rhetoric will be crucial for anyone looking to influence or engage audiences in our interconnected world. By the end of this presentation, you will not only have an enhanced appreciation for the art of rhetoric, but also practical strategies that you can employ in your own writing and speaking endeavors. Whether you are crafting an email, delivering a presentation, or even engaging in everyday conversation, the principles we discuss today will provide you with a toolkit to articulate your thoughts compellingly and persuasively. So, let's embark on this journey together through the compelling world of rhetoric, unlocking the secrets of effective communication that have stood the test of time and continue to shape our interactions today. Thank you, and let's begin. Rhetoric is fundamentally about communicating purposefully and effectively. It encompasses the skills and techniques that help us convey our messages in the most impactful way possible, regardless of the subject matter or medium. At its essence, rhetoric transcends mere speaking or writing. It involves understanding the nuances of language, audience psychology, and context to ensure that our intended message resonates with those who receive it. The art of rhetoric allows us to mold our thoughts into forms that not only express our ideas but also engage and inspire others to see the world from our perspective. At its core, rhetoric is the art of using language to persuade or influence others. This persuasive element is what sets rhetoric apart from simple communication. It provides frameworks for constructing compelling arguments that can change minds, inspire action, and shape understanding. Rhetoric teaches us how to choose our words carefully, how to structure our arguments strategically, and how to appeal to the emotions and beliefs of our listeners. By leveraging ethos, pathos, and logos, the three appeals of rhetoric, we can craft messages that resonate on multiple levels, ultimately moving our audience toward the desired conclusion or action. Rhetoric has been studied and practiced for over 2 millennia, making it one of the oldest academic disciplines. Its enduring principles have been refined through centuries of practical application across various cultures and contexts. From the orators of ancient Greece like Aristotle, who systematized the study of rhetoric, to the Roman rhetoricians who adapted these ideas for their own purposes, the discipline has evolved while retaining its core tenets. Throughout history, rhetoric has played a critical role in law, politics, education, and the arts, demonstrating its versatility and importance in shaping human thought and society. As we examine the legacy of rhetoric, we find that it has not only influenced powerful speeches and texts, but has also shaped the very fabric of democratic discourse. Today, this same legacy continues to inform how we communicate across diverse platforms. Whether in a courtroom, a political debate, or an online discussion, the principles of rhetoric remain relevant, guiding us in our quest to express ourselves clearly and persuasively. In our exploration, we will uncover how the practical applications of rhetoric can enhance our everyday communication. By mastering methods of persuasion and understanding the historical context that has shaped rhetorical studies, we equip ourselves with powerful tools for engagement and advocacy. As we move forward, consider the ways in which you too can harness the art of rhetoric to articulate your ideas more effectively and connect with others on a deeper level. Through this journey, we aim to not only appreciate the discipline's rich history, but also to apply it meaningfully in our modern lives. Rhetoric formally emerged in the 5th century BCE in Athens, a pivotal time shaped by the advent of democracy. This new political landscape created an urgent need for persuasive public speaking, as citizens were required to defend their positions in courts and debate policy in political assemblies. The democratic system empowered individuals, but it also meant that the ability to effectively articulate one's thoughts and persuade others became crucial for participation in civic life. As people gathered to debate and discuss matters of public interest, the demand for skills in rhetorical communication surged. Thus, this environment set the stage for rhetoric to flourish as an essential discipline. In this context, a group of traveling teachers known as sophists emerged, offering instruction in rhetoric and public speaking to those who sought to excel in these new arenas. The sophists were skilled in the art of persuasion and taught their students various techniques to construct effective arguments. Although they faced criticism from later philosophers, particularly Plato, for their perceived focus on persuasion over truth, the sophists established rhetoric as a teachable skill. They introduced early methods of argumentation, such as the development of logical reasoning and the nuances of persuasion tailored to different audiences. Their contributions laid the groundwork for future rhetorical study, allowing for a deeper understanding of how language can shape thought and influence action. The field of rhetoric underwent a significant transformation with the work of Aristotle, who was often regarded as one of the most influential figures in the study of this discipline. In his seminal work titled Rhetoric, Aristotle revolutionized the understanding of rhetoric by systematizing it and providing a comprehensive framework for the study of persuasive communication. He famously defined rhetoric as the faculty of observing in any given case the available means of persuasion. This definition underscored the situational nature of rhetoric, emphasizing that persuasion is not a one-size-fits-all practice. Rather, it depends on context, audience, and purpose. Aristotle's exploration of ethos, pathos, and logos, the three modes of persuasion, set the theoretical foundation that would influence rhetorical study for centuries to come. Through Aristotle's rigorous analysis, he moved rhetoric from a collection of sporadic techniques to a structured field with principles that could be taught, learned, and applied. His emphasis on the importance of ethos or character, pathos or emotion, and logos or logic allowed speakers and writers to engage their audiences on multiple levels, crafting messages that were not only persuasive but also resonant and relevant. The impact of his work cannot be overstated. It remains a cornerstone of rhetorical theory and practice. As we trace the origins of rhetoric, we see its evolution from an informal collection of techniques in a burgeoning democracy to a formalized discipline with foundational theories that continue to shape our understanding of communication today. This journey through time highlights the enduring significance of rhetoric as an art form and a necessary skill in our ongoing pursuit of effective communication. At the heart of effective communication lies the concept of the rhetorical situation, which encompasses several interconnected elements that shape how messages are created and received. Understanding these elements and their interrelationships is crucial for honing one's rhetorical skills, allowing speakers and writers to tailor their approaches with finesse. The first key element is the writer or speaker, the individual or entity creating the message. Their background, expertise, and values significantly influence the way they communicate. A writer's authority can stem from their education, professional experience, or personal insights, which in turn impacts how their message is perceived by the audience. For instance, a scientist communicating complex ideas about climate change carries a different weight than a passionate activist advocating for environmental policies. The credibility, voice, and perspective of the speaker play a pivotal role in shaping the reception of their message, as audiences often consider such factors when determining whether to accept, challenge, or engage with the ideas presented. Next, we must consider the audience, those receiving the message. The audience is not a monolithic entity. Instead, it is composed of individuals with diverse needs, beliefs, backgrounds, and expectations. Effective communicators analyze their audience to understand what resonates and what might alienate. This includes being attuned to demographics such as age, education level, cultural contexts, and prior knowledge about the topic. By considering these aspects, a speaker can craft their message in a way that speaks to the audience's values and interests, ultimately enhancing the likelihood of persuasion. For instance, a speech aimed at experts in a field will differ greatly from one directed at a general public audience, necessitating different levels of complexity and technical language. Equally important is the purpose of the communication, the intended outcome that drives it. Speakers and writers often seek to inform, persuade, entertain, or inspire their audiences, and the choice of purpose shapes every aspect of the message. For instance, a persuasive speech may employ emotional appeals and strong rhetorical questions to motivate action, while an informative presentation may focus on clarity and factual evidence to enhance understanding. Understanding the desired outcome allows communicators to frame their messages and choose their strategies effectively, aligning their content with their overarching goals. The context in which communication occurs is another crucial element in the rhetorical situation. Context includes the circumstances surrounding the communication, such as timing, location, and medium. For example, the same message delivered in a formal setting, like a conference hall, may need to be adapted if delivered via text message or social media. Context also encompasses the historical and cultural backdrop against which the communication takes place. What may resonate in one era or community could fall flat in another. Therefore, effective communicators are acutely aware of the context, ensuring that their messages are relevant and appropriate for the setting in which they are delivered. Finally, we encounter the topic, the subject matter, and the scope of what is being communicated. The topic serves as the foundation upon which the entire rhetorical situation is built. A clear understanding of the topic allows the writer or speaker to focus their message, determine the level of detail to include, and identify the most compelling arguments or narratives to present. The topic not only directs the content, but also informs the tone and style of communication, which can vary significantly depending on whether one is discussing a social issue, scientific research, or a personal story. In summary, the rhetorical situation is a dynamic interplay among the 5 key components: the writer or speaker, the audience, the purpose, the context, and the topic. The most persuasive communicators possess the ability to analyze and adapt their approach based on a careful consideration of these elements. By understanding the complexity of the rhetorical situation, individuals can craft and deliver their messages with greater efficacy, ensuring that they resonate meaningfully with their audiences. Mastery of this art is not only a hallmark of skilled rhetoric, but also a powerful tool in fostering understanding and connection in any form of communication. In the rich landscape of rhetorical theory, Aristotle identified 3 fundamental appeals that serve as powerful tools for persuasion: ethos, pathos, and logos. Each appeal addresses different aspects of communication, and together create a robust framework for effective rhetoric. Ethos. The first appeal, ethos, focuses on the ethical dimension of persuasion. It centers on the character, credibility, and authority of the speaker or writer. Audiences are inherently more likely to be persuaded by someone they trust and respect, which is why establishing ethos is crucial. This can be achieved through a variety of means, such as demonstrating knowledge on the topic, showcasing relevant experience, and displaying good moral character. Additionally, goodwill toward the audience can foster a sense of connection and openness. For instance, a doctor discussing health issues carries a certain credibility due to their expertise. But when they also express empathy and concern for patients, their message becomes significantly more compelling. Ethos is about building a rapport with the audience, ensuring that they not only hear the speaker but also believe in their reliability and integrity. Pathos. The second appeal, pathos, targets the emotional landscape of the audience. It seeks to evoke feelings that support the speaker's position, leveraging emotions like joy, fear, pride, sympathy, or outrage to create a compelling narrative. By engaging the audience's emotions, communicators can motivate their listeners toward desired attitudes or actions. For example, a charity organization might share a personal story of an individual impacted by their work, invoking feelings of empathy and compassion. Effective pathos establishes a personal connection, prompting the audience to feel invested in the issue at hand. When a speaker successfully elicits a strong emotional response, they can significantly enhance the persuasive power of their message. Logos. Finally, logos represents the logical appeal, which is grounded in reasoning, evidence, and sound arguments. This appeal relies on facts, statistics, case studies, and a logical progression of ideas to demonstrate that the speaker's conclusions follow rationally from accepted premises. When a speaker presents a well-structured argument backed by credible evidence, they appeal to the audience's intellect and critical thinking skills. For instance, in a debate on climate change, citing scientific studies and statistical data on rising sea levels provides a solid foundation for the argument. Strong logos not only strengthens the message but also enhances the speaker's credibility as audiences appreciate logical coherence and empirical backing. These three appeals, ethos, pathos, and logos, work collaboratively rather than in isolation. The most compelling rhetoric typically achieves a delicate balance among all three elements, allowing the communicator to appeal to the audience's ethical sense, emotional heart, and logical mind. Skilled speakers and writers adapt their emphasis on each appeal based on the specific audience and situation, recognizing that different contexts may call for different strategies. For instance, a passionate speech aimed at inspiring community action might rely more heavily on pathos, while a formal presentation in an academic context may prioritize logos. In understanding and integrating these rhetorical appeals, individuals can significantly enhance their persuasive capabilities. Mastering the art of rhetoric enables communicators to connect with their audiences on multiple levels, effectively fostering engagement and inspiring action. Thus, Aristotle's framework remains a timeless tool for anyone seeking to articulate ideas that resonate, persuade, and ultimately make an impact. Ethos. Appeal to character-building credibility. Ethos represents the appeal to character and credibility, a vital component in the art of persuasion. Establishing ethos begins with demonstrating expertise, experience, and knowledge in the subject matter. When speakers convey mastery of their topic, they inherently build a foundation of credibility that enhances the receptiveness of their audience. This can be achieved through various means, such as citing academic credentials, sharing relevant professional experiences, and showcasing any specialized training or achievements. For example, a medical expert discussing public health issues will likely gain audience trust by referencing their medical degree, years of practice, and involvement in research. The more knowledgeable and competent a speaker appears, the more likely the audience will be to accept their arguments and recommendations, establishing trust. However, ethos extends beyond mere expertise. It encompasses the projection of honesty, integrity, and good character, qualities that resonate deeply with audiences. Trust is a crucial currency in communication, and speakers can cultivate it by acknowledging opposing viewpoints and demonstrating respect for differing opinions. This willingness to engage with alternative perspectives not only reflects open-mindedness, but also showcases the speaker's confidence in their position. Being transparent about one's limitations and potential biases further enhances credibility. Audiences appreciate honesty and are more likely to respond positively when they perceive a speaker as authentic and sincere. When speakers convey a sense of goodwill toward their audience, they foster an environment where trust flourishes, a powerful catalyst for persuasion. Modern applications. In our contemporary landscape, the principles of ethos are ubiquitous across various forms of communication. Professional credentials, testimonials, endorsements, and brand reputation all exemplify how ethos operates in different contexts. In the corporate world, for instance, organizations invest heavily in establishing their ethos by cultivating a reputation for integrity, ethical practices, and demonstrated expertise in their field. This can involve maintaining values that resonate with consumers, engaging in corporate social responsibility, and being responsive to customer feedback. Brands that align their messaging with their ethical commitments garner respect and loyalty from their audiences, enhancing their persuasive power in a competitive marketplace. In political discourse, candidates work diligently to establish their ethos, employing strategies that emphasize their qualifications, past accomplishments, and commitment to integrity. Trustworthiness in this arena can make or break their appeal, underscoring the critical role of ethos in shaping public perception. Overall, the appeal to character through ethos remains an essential facet of effective communication. When speakers invest in building their credibility and establishing trust, they create a strong foundation upon which persuasion can thrive. Mastery of ethos allows communicators to resonate with their audiences on a deeper level, enhancing the impact of their messages while fostering meaningful connections. Thus, whether in a speech, a written essay, or a marketing campaign, understanding and implementing the principles of ethos can lead to more compelling and influential communication. The appeal to emotion. Understanding how emotion functions in communication is essential for anyone seeking to influence others, whether in public speaking, writing, or everyday conversations. While logic and reason are important, it is often emotion that energizes and sustains engagement, making messages memorable and compelling. Let's begin by examining what pathos truly entails. At its core, pathos creates a bridge between the speaker and the audience. It's about establishing an emotional connection, an invisible thread that links shared feelings, values, and experiences. When a speaker successfully evokes emotions such as joy, fear, hope, or compassion, they tap into the audience's internal landscape. This emotional engagement does more than just capture attention, it motivates action. Consider powerful speeches in history, moments when words moved entire nations to change course, to stand up for justice, or to overcome adversity. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech, for example, did not only present a logical argument for equality, but also stirred hope and a collective longing for a better future. It's this emotional resonance that often makes such moments memorable and transformative. Creating this emotional connection requires more than just stating facts. It involves understanding the audience's fears, aspirations, and values. A speaker who recognizes and sensitively appeals to these feelings can foster trust and empathy, making the audience more receptive to the message. For example, appealing to a sense of fairness might evoke a feeling of moral obligation, while highlighting shared vulnerabilities can foster compassion. When emotions are engaged authentically, the audience becomes more than passive listeners. They become active participants in the communication process. To deepen the emotional impact, speakers often utilize vivid language. This is where descriptive language, sensory details, metaphors, and evocative imagery come into play. Well-chosen words serve as powerful tools to paint mental pictures that resonate deeply within the listener's mind and heart. Instead of simply stating "many are suffering," a speaker might describe the aching hunger that gnaws at children's stomachs, or the silent tears of a mother watching her home destroyed. Such imagery makes the experience visceral, allowing the audience to see, feel, and empathize with the situation. This form of language transports listeners beyond abstract ideas, enabling them to viscerally experience the emotions associated with the message. As a result, the message becomes etched into their memory, influencing their beliefs, attitudes, and willingness to act. Furthermore, pathos is often most effectively employed through storytelling. Humans are naturally drawn to stories. They are how we understand the world and connect with others. Stories with relatable characters facing challenges evoke empathy and emotional investment far more powerfully than mere statistics or logical arguments. Personal anecdotes, case studies, and testimonials serve as emotional anchors that personalize issues and make them tangible. For instance, hearing a survivor's story about overcoming adversity can inspire hope and resilience, while a testimonial from someone affected by injustice can evoke outrage and a desire for change. Storytelling also allows for the presentation of complex ideas in a relatable and engaging way. When a narrative includes obstacles, conflicts, and resolutions, it mirrors the human experience and creates a sense of shared journey. The emotional peaks and valleys of a story can evoke feelings of tension, relief, anger, or inspiration, making the message memorable and motivating. The power of storytelling lies in its ability to evoke genuine empathy. Listeners see themselves in the characters, feel their struggles, and become emotionally invested in their outcomes. It's important to note that pathos should be employed ethically. While emotional appeals can be incredibly persuasive, they can also be manipulative if misused. The goal is to foster genuine connection and understanding, not to exploit fears or prejudices. When used responsibly, pathos enhances the credibility of the speaker by demonstrating empathy and authenticity. In conclusion, pathos is a vital tool in the art of persuasion. By creating emotional bridges through shared feelings, employing vivid language that transports and immerses, and telling compelling stories that resonate deeply, speakers can inspire action and leave lasting impressions. Mastering pathos involves understanding the human psyche, recognizing the power of emotion to motivate, to heal, and to transform. As communicators, when we balance emotional appeal with honesty and integrity, we can move hearts and minds in meaningful ways. Logos, appeal to logic, evidence-based persuasion. Logos is fundamental to effective persuasion, as it relies on the appeal to logic and reason. This appeal harnesses verifiable facts, statistics, research findings, and empirical evidence to support claims made by the speaker or writer. Strong logical appeals are characterized by their clarity and accuracy in presenting data, ensuring that the information cited comes from reliable sources that audiences can check and confirm. The quality and relevance of this evidence significantly enhance its persuasive power. Well-chosen facts not only substantiate the argument but also lend credibility to the communicator. For example, when discussing the impact of climate change, citing peer-reviewed studies and statistical data on rising temperatures or sea levels helps establish a fact-based argument that resonates powerfully with audiences. Sound reasoning. Effective logos goes beyond merely presenting data. It builds arguments through clear reasoning patterns. A sound logical appeal can utilize deductive reasoning, applying general principles to specific cases, or inductive reasoning, which draws general conclusions from specific examples. In a deductive argument, a speaker might state that all humans are mortal, a general principle, and then assert that Socrates is a human, leading to the conclusion that Socrates is mortal. Inductive reasoning might involve presenting several specific instances of a phenomenon and then drawing a broader conclusion based on those observations. The logical progression within an argument should be transparent and coherent, allowing audiences to follow each step toward the conclusion effortlessly. When reasoning is laid out clearly, it invites the audience to engage with the argument intellectually, reinforcing its validity, avoiding fallacies. However, for an appeal to logos to be effective, one must also be vigilant about avoiding logical fallacies, flawed reasoning patterns that can undermine credibility and weaken arguments. Common examples of logical fallacies include false dichotomies, where only two extreme options are presented as the sole possibilities, hasty generalizations that draw broad conclusions from insufficient evidence, and appeals to ignorance, which argue that a claim is true simply because it has not been proven false. Recognizing and avoiding these errors not only strengthens arguments but also demonstrates intellectual integrity and a commitment to sound reasoning. When speakers or writers present their arguments free of logical fallacies, they are better positioned to persuade and influence audiences effectively. In summary, the appeal to logic through logos is an essential aspect of effective communication. By relying on evidence-based persuasion, employing sound reasoning, and avoiding fallacies, communicators can construct arguments that resonate with the audience's rational faculties. Mastery of logos enhances the persuasiveness of messages, enabling individuals to engage their listeners critically and thoughtfully. As such, whether addressing a scientific issue, crafting a policy proposal, or defending a thesis, understanding and implementing the principles of logos can significantly elevate the overall impact of one's communication. By appealing to logic, speakers can not only persuade their audiences, but also foster informed dialogue and deliberation on important topics. The 5 Canons of Rhetoric. The 5 Canons of Rhetoric represent a foundational framework for crafting effective communication, be it spoken or written. Traditionally formalized by Cicero and further refined by Roman rhetoricians, these canons encompass the entire process of creating persuasive messages, from the initial conception of ideas to their final delivery. Remarkably, these principles continue to hold significant relevance across various mediums and contexts today. Invention, inventio. The first canon, invention or inventio, pertains to the discovery of arguments and material that will form the basis of communication. This stage involves in-depth research, brainstorming, and the careful development of content. Here, speakers and writers explore various angles of their topic, identifying key points, evidence, and supporting arguments that will resonate with their audience. Invention is not merely about gathering information, It is about creatively synthesizing ideas that will persuade or inform an audience. This can be an exploratory phase where one asks questions, considers different perspectives, and generates a pool of potential arguments to draw upon. Arrangement, dispositio. Once the material is gathered, the next step is arrangement or dispositio. This phase focuses on the organization and structuring of arguments and ideas into a coherent order that maximizes impact and comprehension. A well-structured presentation or text allows the audience to follow the speaker's line of reasoning and see the connections between ideas. Common organizational patterns can include chronological order, cause and effect structures, or problem-solution formats, depending on the nature of the material and the intended audience. Effective arrangement ensures that crucial points are highlighted, enhancing the overall persuasive power of the message. Style, elocutio. The third canon, style or elocutio, involves the selection of appropriate language, tone, and rhetorical devices to express ideas effectively. This stage is pivotal in determining how the message will resonate with the audience. The choice of vocabulary, sentence structure, and rhetorical figures, such as metaphors, similes, or repetition, conveys not only the content but also the mood and emotional appeal. Tailoring style to suit the audience and purpose is critical. For instance, a formal presentation to a corporate board will differ vastly in tone and language from a speech at a community event. The goal of style is to clarify and embellish communication, making it both engaging and effective. Memory, memoria. Memory, or memoria, pertains to techniques for retaining and recalling information during the delivery of the message. In ancient rhetoric, this aspect was crucial, particularly in oral communication contexts, where speakers relied on memorization rather than written notes. Even in contemporary contexts, where written texts are often available, the principles of memory practice can enhance a speaker's delivery. This may involve strategies for organizing thoughts in a way that aids recall, using mnemonic devices, or rehearsing speeches to foster confidence and fluidity in delivery. Delivery, pronunciatio. The final canon is delivery, or pronunciatio, which encompasses the presentation of the message through both verbal and nonverbal means. This includes voice modulation, gestures, facial expressions, and overall presence. Effective delivery captures and maintains the audience's attention, enabling the speaker to convey enthusiasm and conviction. It is often said that much of communication's power lies not just in words, but in how those words are delivered. The impact of a message can be transformed by a speaker's ability to engage with their audience physically and emotionally through their delivery techniques. In summary, the 5 canons of rhetoric provide a comprehensive framework for creating effective communication from conception to delivery. By mastering invention, arrangement, style, memory, and delivery, speakers and writers can enhance their persuasive capabilities and connect more meaningfully with their audiences. As we navigate the complexities of modern communication, whether in speeches, written documents, or digital presentations, these ancient principles remain essential tools for crafting compelling messages that inspire, inform, and persuade. Invention, generating ideas. Invention is the first and foundational canon of rhetoric, representing the crucial phase in which speakers and writers generate ideas and develop the material for their communication. The quality of ideas and arguments discovered during this phase largely determines the ultimate success of the message. To navigate through the invention process effectively, several key steps can be followed. Topic exploration. The invention process begins with topic exploration, which involves defining the scope of the topic in clear terms. This foundational step requires speakers to identify not only what they want to talk about, but also the specific aspects or angles that interest them. Engaging with the subject matter means delving deeper to create a nuanced understanding that guides content creation. As part of this exploration, key questions are generated to direct the research and thinking. These questions serve as focal points, allowing the speaker to understand what they need to clarify, support, or challenge within their communication, ultimately leading to a more thorough exploration of the topic. Research methods. Once the topic is defined, the next stage involves gathering information through various research methods. This can include consulting both primary and secondary sources, such as academic articles, books, and credible online resources. Additionally, conducting interviews with subject matter experts, observations of relevant phenomena, and analyzing data can provide valuable insights and enrich the content. In today's information-rich environment, leveraging diverse sources enhances the breadth and depth of arguments, providing a more nuanced foundation for the ideas that will be presented. Idea generation. With sufficient information in hand, the next phase is idea generation. This stage invites creativity and exploration of potential approaches to the topic. Techniques like mind mapping can help visually organize thoughts and associations, illustrating how different ideas connect. Free writing encourages uninhibited expression by allowing writers to jot down their thoughts without worrying about grammar or structure, thus unlocking fresh insights. Brainstorming sessions, whether individually or in groups, can facilitate dynamic exchanges of ideas, generating a wealth of possibilities that might not emerge in solitary contexts. This iterative process encourages diverse thinking, helping speakers consider multiple perspectives and angles before honing in on their primary arguments. Strategic selection. As a multitude of ideas emerges, strategic selection becomes critical. This stage involves evaluating the generated ideas based on several considerations, including audience needs, the purpose of the communication, and the context in which it will be delivered. Not all ideas will resonate equally with the audience, nor will they align with the intended objective. By carefully assessing which ideas best serve the communication's overall goals, speakers can select the most effective approach to develop in their message. This strategic choice ensures that the communication is not only relevant but also impactful, increasing the likelihood of a positive response from the audience. Invention represents the foundation of effective rhetoric. Classical rhetoricians developed systematic approaches to invention, including topoi, or common lines of argument that could be applied across different subjects. These topoi provide frameworks for speakers to explore and adapt theories to prove their points convincingly. Modern invention often incorporates collaborative processes and digital tools that extend beyond what ancient rhetoricians could have imagined. Online tools for mind mapping, collaborative document editing, and even AI-assisted idea generation have transformed how we engage in the invention process. Despite these advances, the fundamental goal remains the same: discovering the most compelling content for a particular rhetorical situation. By engaging rigorously in the invention process, communicators can lay a strong foundation for their messages, shaping ideas that inform, persuade, and resonate with their audiences. Arrangement, organizing content. Arrangement is a critical canon of rhetoric that focuses on the organization and structuring of ideas to create a coherent and compelling narrative. A well-organized presentation or text enhances comprehension and impact, guiding the audience through the speaker's arguments and making it easier for them to follow the line of reasoning. Below are the key components of this arrangement. Introduction, exordium. The introduction, or exordium, serves as the opening of the communication and is essential in establishing the topic while capturing the audience's attention. An effective introduction not only introduces the subject matter but also creates goodwill with the audience, establishing a rapport and encouraging openness to the message. This is achieved through engaging anecdotes, thought-provoking questions, or relevant quotes that pique interest. Additionally, the introduction sets expectations and provides any necessary context, giving the audience a clear understanding of what will follow. It functions as a roadmap, outlining the main points that will be addressed and inviting the audience into the discourse. Background, narratio. Following the introduction, the narratio provides the background and context necessary for the audience to understand the arguments that will be presented. This section serves as a foundation for the reasoning that follows, providing essential facts, definitions, and pertinent history related to the topic. By ensuring that the audience has a solid grasp of the context, this part of the arrangement facilitates a smoother transition into the more complex arguments. Clear and concise background information is vital. Without it, audiences may struggle to follow the nuances of the arguments that come later. Main arguments. Confirmatio. The confirmatio, or main arguments section, is where the speaker presents their key points and supporting evidence in a logical sequence. The arguments should be arranged in an effective order, typically progressing from the strongest to the second strongest points, with weaker points positioned in the middle. This structure creates a hammer and anvil effect, where the stronger arguments set a solid foundation that underscores the overall persuasive strategy. Each main point should be clearly articulated and supported by credible evidence. This could include statistics, research findings, anecdotal examples, or expert testimony. Presenting arguments in a logical and organized manner enhances the clarity and memorability of the message. Counter-arguments, refutatio. Addressing counter-arguments is an important and often necessary component of effective persuasion. The refutatio allows the speaker to acknowledge opposing viewpoints and demonstrates thoroughness and intellectual honesty. By recognizing and systematically refuting potential objections, the communicator strengthens their overall argument and builds credibility in the eyes of the audience. This approach not only shows that the speaker is aware of alternate perspectives, but also that they can engage with these viewpoints thoughtfully, reinforcing the strength of their original position. Conclusion. Peroratio. Finally, the conclusion, or peroratio, summarizes the key points made throughout the communication, reinforcing the central message and ensuring that the audience leaves with a clear understanding of the argument. A compelling conclusion often includes a call to action, prompting the audience to think, feel, or act in a specific way based on what they have just heard. This final impression is crucial. An effective conclusion leaves a lasting impact, clarifying the significance of the topic and encouraging the audience to internalize the main takeaways. Overall, the arrangement of a rhetorical piece is vital to its effectiveness. By carefully organizing the content into these structured components, introduction, background, main arguments, counter-arguments, and conclusion, communicators can create coherent and persuasive messages that engage and resonate with their audiences. A well-structured arrangement not only enhances comprehension, but also strengthens the overall persuasiveness of the communication, making it essential for achieving the desired rhetorical effect. Style. Crafting language style is a pivotal canon of rhetoric that focuses on the artful crafting of language to enhance communication. It encompasses word choice, rhetorical devices, and tone adaptation, all of which contribute to creating a message that is not only effective, but also engaging and memorable. Below are the key components involved in the stylistic choices a communicator can make to achieve their rhetorical goals. Word choice, diction. At the heart of effective communication lies word choice or diction. Selecting precise, vivid, and appropriate vocabulary enhances both clarity and impact. Effective communicators must carefully consider various aspects of diction: the denotation, literal meaning, of words, their connotation, associated feelings or implications, and the distinctions between technical terminology and common vocabulary. For example, when addressing a general audience, using accessible language is crucial for comprehension, while a specialized audience might appreciate more technical jargon. Additionally, the level of formality, complexity, and specificity of the language must align with the audience's needs and expectations. Striking the right balance in word choice helps to convey a message clearly and powerfully, allowing the audience to connect with the ideas being presented. Rhetorical devices. Incorporating rhetorical devices enhances the expressiveness of language and contributes to the persuasiveness of a message. Techniques such as metaphor, simile, alliteration, and repetition add power and memorability to communication. For instance, metaphors and similes can create vivid imagery and forge connections between complex ideas and familiar concepts, making abstract notions more concrete and relatable. Alliteration can enhance the musicality of language, while repetition emphasizes key ideas, reinforcing their importance in the audience's memory. The strategic use of these devices not only makes language more engaging, but also creates patterns that resonate with listeners, making the content more impactful. Tone adaptation. Tone refers to the attitude conveyed through language and plays a significant role in how a message is received. The tone can be formal or casual, serious or humorous, passionate or detached, and successful communicators must ensure that their tone aligns with their purpose and audience expectations. The process of tone adaptation involves careful audience analysis. Speakers must consider the demographics, cultural backgrounds, and situational context of their listeners to choose the appropriate tone. For example, a motivational speech delivered to high school students may utilize a more enthusiastic and relatable tone, while a presentation to industry professionals might adopt a formal and analytical approach. By adjusting their linguistic style accordingly, communicators can engage their audiences effectively, fostering a connection that facilitates understanding and persuasion. In summary, the style of communication is essential for crafting compelling rhetoric. Through thoughtful word choice, the incorporation of rhetorical devices, and careful tone adaptation, speakers and writers can enhance the clarity, memorability, and emotional resonance of their messages. Mastering the intricacies of style empowers communicators to connect meaningfully with their audiences, achieving their rhetorical objectives and leaving a lasting impact. Whether delivering a speech, writing an article, or crafting marketing materials, The style of language used plays a crucial role in shaping the effectiveness of the communication. Memory, retaining information. Memory is the fourth canon of rhetoric, and it plays a crucial role in the effective delivery of speeches and presentations. The ability to retain and recall information not only enhances a speaker's confidence, but also ensures that their message is communicated clearly and persuasively. Various techniques, both ancient and modern, can aid in this process. The memory palace. One of the most renowned techniques for enhancing memory is the memory palace method, an ancient strategy dating back to classical rhetoric. This technique involves visualizing a familiar physical space, such as your home, and mentally placing key information at specific locations within that space. For example, to remember the main points of a presentation, a speaker might visualize walking through each room of their house, associating each room with a different topic or argument. During delivery, the speaker can mentally walk through the space to retrieve the information stored at each location. This method leverages the brain's powerful spatial memory, allowing abstract ideas to be organized in a way that is easier to recall. Mnemonic systems. Mnemonic systems are another effective way to enhance memory retention. These techniques involve creating memorable associations, such as acronyms, rhymes, songs, or visualization methods. For instance, the acronym HOMES is frequently used to help people remember the names of the Great Lakes: Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. By encoding information into familiar patterns, speakers can facilitate recall and make complex information more accessible. Rhymes or catchy phrases can also serve to reinforce memory, making the material more enjoyable and engaging. External memory aids. In addition to traditional memory techniques, modern speakers often utilize external memory aids to support their recall. Tools such as notes, teleprompters, slides, and digital devices can supplement memory and ensure accurate delivery. While ancient rhetoric emphasized complete memorization as the ideal, contemporary approaches recognize the value of balancing memorization of key points with the prudent use of reference materials. This hybrid approach allows speakers to maintain confidence without relying solely on their memory, thus enhancing the overall effectiveness of their presentation. Practice and repetition. Regular rehearsal remains one of the most effective methods for enhancing memory retention. Consistent practice enables speakers to solidify their understanding of the material and improves fluidity during delivery. Incorporating spaced repetition, where the material is reviewed at increasing intervals over time, has been scientifically proven to enhance long-term retention more effectively than cramming or continuous intensive practice. By allowing time for consolidation and recall, speakers can reinforce their knowledge and ensure that their message is delivered with confidence. In summary, memory is a vital component of effective rhetoric, impacting how messages are delivered and received. Techniques like the memory palace, mnemonic devices, external aids, and diligent practice form a multifaceted approach to retaining information. By mastering these memory techniques, speakers can enhance their ability to communicate persuasively, making a lasting impression on their audiences. In an age where information is readily available, the skills to remember and deliver significant points effectively remain invaluable, allowing communicators to engage meaningfully and impactfully with those they address. Delivery, presenting the message. Delivery is the final canon of rhetoric, representing the culmination of all rhetorical preparation. It encompasses not just the act of speaking or writing, but the nuanced ways in which a message is conveyed to an audience. Effective delivery can greatly enhance the impact of a message, while poor delivery can undermine even the most brilliantly conceived content. Below are the key components of delivery that effective communicators should consider. Vocal delivery. Vocal delivery is a critical aspect of how a message is received. Effective speakers modulate their voices for maximum impact by adjusting volume, pace, pitch, and emphasis. A well-timed pause can add significant weight to a statement, allowing the audience to process important points before moving on. For instance, slowing down to emphasize a key idea draws attention and encourages deeper reflection. Additionally, voice quality is a powerful conveyor of confidence and credibility. A steady and clear voice fosters trust, while variation in tone helps to prevent monotony that can lead to audience disengagement. Engaging vocal delivery captures attention and can significantly enhance the persuasive effect of the message, making it more memorable. Physical presentation. The physical presentation of a speaker is equally important in delivering a message. Body language, including posture, facial expressions, gestures, and movement, plays a vital role in communication. These nonverbal cues often communicate attitudes and emotions more effectively than words alone, helping to support the overall message. For example, maintaining eye contact can build rapport and establish connection with the audience, while open body language conveys warmth and engagement. Additionally, in written contexts, elements such as format, typography, and layout also influence how content is received. A well-structured document with appropriate use of headings, bullet points, and spacing can enhance readability and impact. The physical elements of delivery work in tandem with verbal communication to create a holistic experience for the audience. Medium adaptation. Each communication channel, whether spoken, written, digital, or visual, presents unique challenges and opportunities for delivery. Effective communicators must adapt their approach based on the specific medium they are using. For instance, face-to-face presentations allow for immediate feedback and interaction with the audience, necessitating a more dynamic delivery style. In contrast, written documents demand clarity and precision, as the audience cannot rely on vocal inflections or body language to interpret the message. Creating online content requires understanding of digital tools and incorporating engaging elements like hyperlinks and multimedia, while multimedia presentations necessitate a blend of spoken word, visuals, and sound to create an immersive experience. Adjusting the delivery technique to suit the medium enhances the overall effectiveness of the communication. In summary, delivery is a crucial aspect of effective rhetoric that can significantly impact how a message is perceived. Through skillful vocal delivery, thoughtful physical presentation, and adaptation to the communication medium, speakers can effectively engage their audiences and enhance their persuasive power. Ultimately, even the most beautifully conceived and organized content can fail if it is poorly delivered, while excellent delivery can often mask weaknesses in other areas of rhetoric. Mastering the art of delivery allows communicators to ensure that their messages resonate powerfully and leave a lasting impression on their audiences. Kairos, the right time and place. Kairos is a significant concept in rhetoric that emphasizes the importance of timing in communication. It refers to finding the perfect moment to deliver a message when audiences are most receptive and the circumstances are most favorable. Unlike chronological time, chronos, which is linear and measurable, Kairos pertains to qualitative time, identifying the right moment for a specific message. Understanding Kairos enables communicators to optimize the impact of their messages, acknowledging that identical content delivered at different moments can evoke dramatically different responses. Seizing the opportune moment. The essence of Kairos lies in seizing opportune moments to communicate effectively. Effective speakers and writers recognize that context can heavily influence how messages are received. For instance, delivering an inspirational speech about resilience during a period of collective hardship can resonate more deeply than at a time when audiences may be less engaged. Conversely, discussing a sensitive topic in a time of crisis may result in negative reception. By attuning themselves to the emotional and situational climate of their audience, communicators can enhance their persuasive power. This requires sensitivity to the environment, ensuring that the timing of their message aligns not only with their goals, but also with the current state of their audience and the surrounding events. Contextual awareness. Effective communicators are acutely aware of the socio-political and cultural context surrounding their message. This contextual awareness allows them to assess shifting circumstances that could enhance or diminish the receptivity of their ideas. Being attuned to current events, societal trends, and audience attitudes enables speakers to craft messages that resonate more profoundly and connect meaningfully with listeners. For example, an advocate for social change who can tie their message to a recent movement or event will likely find their arguments more persuasive as they tap into an existing conversation. By remaining alert to the dynamic interplay between context and content, communicators can achieve heightened relevance and impact. Strategic timing. Mastering Kairos goes beyond simply reacting to existing opportunities. It also involves strategically creating favorable moments for communication. This might entail laying groundwork through preliminary messaging to prepare the audience for more significant ideas later. For example, progressive advocates may introduce concepts gradually, nurturing understanding and buy-in before presenting bold initiatives. Additionally, waiting for relevant events, such as legislative changes or public demonstrations, can create windows of opportunity for messages to land with greater force. By introducing ideas in stages, communicators can build receptivity over time, thereby enhancing the likelihood that their messages will be well received and acted upon. In summary, kairos is a critical element of effective rhetoric, encompassing the concepts of seizing the opportune moment, maintaining contextual awareness, and employing strategic timing to enhance communication. Understanding and utilizing kairos allows speakers and writers to optimize the impact of their messages by aligning content with the right moment and context, ultimately fostering greater engagement and persuasion. In an ever-changing landscape, being responsive to kairos empowers communicators to navigate dynamic environments effectively, ensuring that their ideas resonate profoundly with their audiences. Rhetorical analysis. Rhetorical analysis is a critical practice that involves systematically examining how communication works to achieve its intended effects. It allows us to understand the strategies that speakers and writers employ to influence audiences. By breaking down texts, whether they are speeches, written documents, advertisements, or any other forms of communication, we can uncover the underlying persuasive mechanisms that contribute to their effectiveness. Evaluating effectiveness. The first step in rhetorical analysis is to evaluate how well the rhetoric achieves its intended purpose. This involves assessing whether the communication successfully engages the audience, conveys the intended message, and prompts the desired response or action. Effective rhetorical analysis considers not only the success of the message but also the audience's emotional, intellectual, and behavioral responses. Questions to consider here include: did the speaker provoke thought? Did the message inspire action? How well did the audience respond to the content? Identifying strategies. Recognizing the strategies used in the communication is a key component of rhetorical analysis. This involves identifying the patterns and techniques employed by the communicator to persuade their audience. Common strategies may include the use of rhetorical appeals, ethos, pathos, logos, stylistic devices, metaphor, simile, alliteration, and organizational structures, narrative arcs, problem-solution formats. By analyzing these elements, we can better understand the effectiveness of the communicator's approach and the ways in which they seek to persuade. Contextual understanding. A thorough rhetorical analysis places the communication within its broader context. This means examining not only the immediate setting in which the communication occurs, but also considering the cultural, historical, and political factors that surround it. Contextual understanding is crucial, as it helps us recognize how external circumstances influence the way messages are crafted and received. For instance, a speech delivered during a national crisis may carry different connotations and effects compared to one given during a time of stability. By contextualizing the communication, analysts gain insight into the motivations of the speaker and the potential impact on the audience. Close reading. Close reading is a critical aspect of rhetorical analysis, which involves a careful examination of language, structure, and rhetorical appeals used in the communication. This analytical approach allows us to dissect the nuances of word choice, sentence structure, and rhetorical devices. By examining specific passages in detail, we can uncover how language shapes meaning and influences audience perception. For example, the strategic use of persuasive language, emotional storytelling, or logical reasoning can significantly enhance a message's impact. Close reading also prompts analysts to reflect on how these choices reflect the speaker's ethos and how they engage the audience through pathos and logos. Conclusion. Skilled rhetorical analysts consider multiple factors when engaging in rhetorical analysis. By examining the rhetorical situation, the appeals used, ethos, pathos, logos, stylistic choices, organizational patterns, and the broader cultural or historical context, we can gain comprehensive insights into how communication functions to create meaning and influence. This multifaceted examination reveals not only what is being communicated, but also how the communication operates effectively to persuade. As a result, rhetorical analysis serves as an essential tool for understanding the dynamics of communication, facilitating a deeper appreciation of the art and science. Rhetoric in the digital age. In today's digital landscape, the nature of rhetoric has evolved significantly, influenced by the rapid growth of technology and the prevalence of social media. The ways in which individuals communicate, persuade, and engage with audiences have transformed, each presenting new constraints and opportunities. Below are key aspects of rhetoric in the digital age. Social media rhetoric platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok have revolutionized the way rhetoric is constructed and delivered. These social media platforms impose unique constraints, such as character limits on tweets, that necessitate conciseness and clarity. Communicators must convey their messages effectively within these limitations, often requiring them to distill complex ideas into succinct statements. Moreover, the multimedia capabilities of these platforms enable powerful combinations of text, images, audio, and video, allowing users to craft messages that resonate across multiple sensory channels. For example, a tweet that includes an engaging image or a short video can enhance its impact far beyond the text alone. The instantaneous nature of social media has also heightened the importance of kairos, as communicators must respond rapidly to developing situations, trending topics, or viral events. This real-time engagement creates opportunities for timely persuasion, but also demands that communicators remain agile and responsive to maintain relevance and connection with their audiences. Visual rhetoric. As our culture becomes increasingly visual, visual rhetoric has emerged as a vital form of persuasion. Persuasive communication often happens through images, graphics, design, and video, as these visual elements are capable of conveying complex messages almost instantaneously. In many cases, visuals can evoke emotional responses that textual communication may struggle to achieve. Understanding the principles of visual composition, color psychology, and visual symbolism is essential for both effective creation and analysis of modern rhetoric. For instance, the choice of colors in an image can evoke particular feelings, while composition can guide the viewer's focus and influence interpretation. Branding often relies heavily on these principles, as companies seek to create immediate recognition and emotional resonance through their visual identity. In the digital age, visuals not only complement textual messages, but can stand alone in their persuasive capability. An impactful image shared widely can convey a significant message without the need for words. Therefore, communicators must cultivate skills in visual literacy to navigate this new landscape effectively. Algorithmic influence. Digital platforms are increasingly shaped by algorithms that determine which messages reach which audiences. These algorithms influence how content is distributed and who sees it, thereby affecting the rhetorical strategies communicators must employ. The creation of filter bubbles and echo chambers, where users are exposed primarily to messages that align with their pre-existing beliefs, dramatically impacts how rhetoric functions. By understanding how algorithms work, successful digital communicators can tailor their messages and strategies to ensure they reach the intended audiences. This may involve optimizing content for engagement metrics such as likes, shares, and comments, which drive visibility on social media platforms. Moreover, effective digital rhetoric often requires an awareness of trending topics, hashtags, and community dynamics to create relevant and resonant communications. This strategic understanding of algorithmic influence allows communicators to navigate the complexities of digital platforms and effectively engage audiences amid the noise of competing messages. Conclusion: rhetoric in the digital age presents a dynamic and multifaceted landscape that requires communicators to adapt to new constraints and opportunities. By leveraging social media rhetoric, embracing visual communication, and understanding algorithmic influence, individuals can craft persuasive messages that resonate in this fast-paced environment. As technology continues to evolve, so too will the practices and strategies of rhetoric, making ongoing adaptation and literacy in these areas essential for effective communication in a digital world. Ethical considerations in rhetoric. Ethical rhetoric is a fundamental tenet of effective communication that emphasizes the necessity of balancing persuasive power with respect for audience autonomy. While the ultimate aim of rhetorical practice is often to influence others, ethical communicators are mindful of the ethical implications of their strategies and the potential consequences of their messages. Key considerations include transparency, truthfulness, and the broader societal impact of rhetoric, balancing persuasion with respect for autonomy. At its core, ethical rhetoric acknowledges that communication is a form of influence that must respect the audience's ability to make informed choices. Ethical communicators avoid manipulating their audiences through deceptive tactics, emotional exploitation, or withholding essential information. They strive to empower their listeners by providing the necessary context and facts that enable informed decision-making. This respect for audience autonomy not only fosters trust, but also promotes a healthier discourse where individuals feel valued and heard. The line between persuasion and manipulation. The distinction between persuasion and manipulation is a critical consideration in ethical rhetoric. This line often hinges on a commitment to truth. Ethical rhetoricians engage in thorough research, accurately representing information and avoiding the distortion of facts to fit their agendas. When they present arguments, they do so with integrity, ensuring that their premises are founded on evidence and that they maintain coherence between their claims and the available data. Moreover, while emotional appeals can be powerful tools in rhetoric, ethical communicators are careful to ground these emotional connections in legitimate concerns rather than exploiting fears, biases, or prejudices. Emotional appeals should aim to resonate with the audience's genuine experiences and values, enhancing the persuasive message without compromising ethical standards. By fostering genuine connections, communicators can inspire action while respecting their audience's dignity. Responsibilities in an era of misinformation. In today's digital landscape, the ethical responsibilities of rhetoricians have grown even more significant due to the prevalence of misinformation and sensationalism. The ease with which inaccurate information can spread demands that communicators hold themselves to higher standards of truthfulness and accountability. In addressing their immediate persuasive goals, communicators must also consider the broader impact of their messages on public discourse, social cohesion, and democratic processes. Ethical rhetoric involves a responsibility to foster critical thinking and media literacy among audiences, enabling them to discern credible sources and engage thoughtfully with complex issues. This commitment to educating and empowering audiences not only strengthens individual decision-making, but also contributes to a more informed and engaged electorate, ultimately enriching the democratic process. Conclusion. Ethical considerations in rhetoric are fundamental to building trust, fostering genuine connections, and promoting informed discourse. By balancing persuasive strategies with respect for truth, audience autonomy, and social responsibility, ethical communicators can navigate the complexities of influence while maintaining integrity. In an era characterized by information overload and polarization, the role of ethical rhetoric becomes increasingly vital, requiring communicators to be vigilant stewards of both their messages and the broader implications of their communication efforts. Through principled engagement, rhetoricians can contribute meaningfully to the landscape of public discourse and champion a culture of respect, understanding, and ethical persuasion, applying rhetoric in daily life. Rhetoric is often associated with formal speeches and public presentations, but it is, in fact, a practical skill set that can enhance everyday communication in various contexts, from business to personal relationships. By understanding and applying rhetorical principles, individuals can significantly improve their interactions and achieve more effective outcomes. Business success. In the professional arena, communication skills are paramount for achieving career advancement and business success. Studies show that a significant percentage of executives recognize communication skills as crucial for climbing the corporate ladder. Rhetorical awareness enables professionals to craft compelling emails, deliver impactful presentations, and engage in productive discussions. Employing structured rhetorical approaches, such as identifying the audience, organizing arguments, and using persuasive language, can lead to increased effectiveness compared to improvised communication. By consciously applying these rhetorical principles, individuals can present their ideas more persuasively, gain buy-in from stakeholders, and foster collaboration within teams. Persuasive impact. The persuasive impact of structured rhetorical approaches is notable in various contexts, such as pitch meetings or negotiations. Research indicates that using these systematic methods significantly enhances a communicator's effectiveness in persuading the audience. When professionals understand the elements of ethos, pathos, and logos, they can better engage their audience by appealing to credibility, emotion, and logical reasoning. This strategic use of rhetoric not only improves immediate communication outcomes, but also builds long-term relationships based on trust and respect. Relationship quality. In personal relationships, a substantial portion of conflicts can be traced back to communication issues. Rhetorical awareness can address these challenges by enhancing clarity, empathy, and understanding in conversations. By recognizing how to express needs and feelings effectively, individuals can foster healthier dialogue. Instead of focusing solely on winning, arguments rhetoric encourages individuals to engage in genuine exchanges that promote mutual understanding and respect. The most fulfilling relationships often feature skilled rhetorical exchanges where both parties feel heard and validated, a vital component of emotional intimacy and connection. Learning enhancement. In educational contexts, the principles of rhetorical organization can lead to significant improvements in information retention. When educators apply rhetorical techniques, such as using clear outlines, engaging narratives, and relevant examples, learners are more likely to retain information and grasp complex concepts. Rhetoric shapes the way content is communicated, making it more engaging and accessible to students. Understanding how to structure information rhetorically not only supports better learning outcomes, but also equips students with skills that will benefit them in their professional futures. Conclusion: rhetoric is an invaluable tool that transcends formal settings, offering practical applications in daily life. By enhancing communication skills in both professional and personal contexts, individuals can cultivate more effective interactions and improve their relationship quality. Rhetorical awareness transforms routine communication into strategic and meaningful exchanges, fostering understanding and collaboration. In today's increasingly interconnected world, the ability to engage in skilled rhetorical practice is essential for achieving success, resolving conflicts, and enhancing learning experiences. By harnessing the power of rhetoric, individuals can navigate their communication challenges with confidence and effectiveness, ultimately enriching their personal and professional lives. Conclusion: the enduring relevance of rhetoric, the art of persuasion and effective communication, has stood the test of time, proving its enduring relevance in both historical and contemporary contexts. The core principles and strategies that ancient rhetoricians established remain remarkably consistent across millennia, embodying wisdom that continues to inform our understanding of communication today. Aristotle's rhetorical appeals, ethos, pathos, and logos, as well as the 5 canons of rhetoric, serve as foundational frameworks that can be applied in novel contexts that the ancients could never have imagined. Ancient wisdom. The teachings of classical rhetoric provide us with insights into the nuances of human interaction and persuasion. From Aristotle's emphasis on credibility and emotional appeal to the systematic approach of organizing thoughts and arguments, these principles guide effective communication. The ability to shape narratives, craft compelling arguments, and engage audiences remains essential in any era and across a range of communication forms. The wisdom of the ancients serves as a cornerstone, offering tools that are just as relevant today as they were in ancient Greece and Rome. Modern applications. In the modern landscape, communicators across diverse platforms, from traditional speeches and academic writing to social media and digital content, actively apply rhetorical principles. While the mediums through which we communicate have changed dramatically, the underlying human psychology of persuasion remains consistent. Our innate desires for connection, understanding, and influence drive how messages are received and interpreted. As a result, understanding rhetoric allows communicators to adapt to evolving platforms without losing sight of the essential skills that foster engagement and persuasion. Future importance. As we look ahead, particularly in an age characterized by information overload and a saturation of competing messages, the importance of rhetorical skills continues to grow. The ability to communicate clearly, persuasively, and ethically is not just beneficial, it is vital for personal and professional success. In a world where attention is fragmented and misinformation can spread rapidly, those equipped with strong rhetorical skills will stand out and effectively convey their messages, fostering healthy dialogue and informed decision-making. Encouragement for continued growth. We encourage you to actively study and practice rhetoric in your own communications. Begin by analyzing the rhetorical strategies employed in the messages you encounter daily, from advertisements to speeches, articles, and social media posts. This active engagement will heighten your awareness of the techniques that resonate with audiences and the tactics that effectively persuade. As you gain insights from your analysis, apply these principles to your communication, be it professional emails, presentations, or personal dialogues. Consider your audience and context, thoughtfully deploy persuasive appeals, and structure your messages to maximize their impact. By deliberately honing your rhetorical awareness and skills, you will evolve into a more effective, ethical, and persuasive communicator across all facets of your life. In summary, the enduring relevance of rhetoric underscores its importance in navigating and excelling in the intricate landscape of human communication. Embrace the study and practice of rhetoric, and you will not only improve your own skills but also contribute positively to the dialogues that shape our world.